To build anything that truly lasts, it takes time.
Narendra Modi now, who is in the UK for a historic visit as the spotlight is on the signing of the FTA, which is a free trade agreement, and refreshing of India-UK comprehensive strategic partnership. Prime Minister Modi also said to be greeted as he is being cheered on by the groups of the Indian community, the leaders, their students and parliamentarians who gathered in anticipation on the outskirts of London. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal, who's also accompanying the Prime Minister for signing of the FTA. As the Indian diaspora say, they are quite enthusiastic on the Prime Minister's arrival.
To be able to meet him, and I think he is like such a visionary. He has done such great things, and so many plans, so many things that he has done, and so many things that he's incorporating. To be able to meet such a man who has a vision, great vision for India, and to make it a developed economy by 2047, I mean, to just be able to spend some time with him, a few seconds in his company, I think that is a reason enough for me to be here tonight. So yeah, really excited for it, to be honest.
Very excited to meet the Prime Minister. Been a great follower of us for about the same time that he came on the national arena. In fact, before that, since I also belong to Gujarat, and seen his development work absolutely on with his agenda for India's development, India's progress, and he's done great work for the country. So on here to support him and finally meet him in person. I've met him a few times before from a distance in different events. So very excited to meet him.
Welcoming him in the UK. He's coming, I think, after 4 years, which is quite an welcoming step. I think just some time ago, we just signed a trade deal, and then we see lots of partnerships between UK and India. So it's a nice time for both the countries, and yeah, we are excited to welcome him.
It's amazing to meet the Prime Minister of our country, that too in a capacity where we won the Bharat Ko Janiye quiz, and as part of such a historic visit to sign the free trade agreement, it's really amazing to meet him.
Now, in his departure statement, Prime Minister says, and I quote, that during my meeting with Prime Minister Starmer, we will have the opportunity to further enhance our economic partnership aimed at fostering prosperity, growth and job creation in both countries. This week marks the Prime Minister's fourth visit to the UK following previous visits that happened in 2015, 2018, 2021 for the COP26 summit in Scotland. And this is also the Prime Minister's third bilateral meeting with Starmer following meetings on the sidelines of the G20 summit and the G7 summit in Canada last month. Now, the negotiations for the FTA, which aims to double bilateral trade to $120 billion by 2030, were completed in the month of May, and it was announced by the Prime Ministers of both countries. As the formal sign-off for the Cabinet now follows with its approval in India, and thereafter will proceed for a lengthy ratification process by the British Parliament. Once the free trade agreement is signed, it will require approval from the British Parliament and India's cabinet before it can come into effect, approximately a year that it will take after the implementation that will happen when the deal is signed.
The objective is to have the free trade agreement land. It is, of course, a detailed and ambitious document, which is probably our most ambitious free trade agreement to date. So there is effort that is required to make sure it's all accurate and covers everything that the two sides have actually agreed. It reflects the substance of what people are expecting. As and when it lands, it isn't appropriate for me to confirm when that will be. The free trade agreement would have, we believe, a very important impact on both economies. It will help drive growth in both countries. It will give businesses a more predictable framework, not only to carry out trade. As I was saying in a previous interview, it isn't just about tariff reductions, important as they are and widespread though they will be. It's also about improving the terms of trade.
The seminal point of the visit is signing of the bilateral free trade agreement, which would cover very substantial part of bilateral trade and free them from high tariffs or other restrictions. It would also have impact on our services sector because they are intertwined with the merchandise goods as well. Bilateral trade was $55 billion last financial year, I should say.
Meanwhile, when trade is being discussed and so is education, now what is being said that a dozen foreign universities, including 5 from Britain, will be setting up campuses in India in the next few months. As several of these universities may have already received their letter of intent, while the applications of many others have been approved. Now, these are 5 British universities that would be opening their campuses in India that include the Southampton in Gurugram, Liverpool in Bengaluru, York in Mumbai, Aberdeen in Mumbai, Bristol in Mumbai. The first 4 have already received their clearances, but Bristol's application is still being processed. And this is coming at a time, Srinjoy, as we are talking about trade deals, of course, talks on the education sector, defense sector, all the more bigger highlights as to why this visit of the Prime Minister is being labelled as a historic one.
Yes, as far as trade is concerned, the trade levels will go up by about $35 billion. That's huge. Secondly, it will benefit ordinary people because British goods will be cheaper in India, Indian goods will be cheaper in Britain, and naturally demand for them as a result will go up. So that's a big positive that will happen. It could also lead to more investment. As far as defense is concerned, we are hearing about India being keen on some very short-range anti-surface-to-air missiles. Now, that's something that can be looked at. Also, the British may be setting up a plant in Hyderabad for surface-to-surface missile production. So, if both happen, it will be good for Indo-British defense ties. As far as education is concerned, you've already said that these 5 universities are being set up. Now that's very good because there are 2 things that happen as a result of this. The pressure on Indian universities will come down. Let's not forget how difficult it is to get into a college in Delhi. Now if you have 5 big British universities, and this could just be the beginning, there could be many more universities from different parts of the world. Already too many years has been lost from the time Stanford wanted to come to India. This was in the early years of UP Year 1. And now at least there is a chance that there will be more foreign universities, that Indian universities will face less pressure, and Indians who want to study, who want a good education, don't have to go abroad. It will be easier as far as the government is concerned.
The cost of living, of course, there are some lifestyle choices as well, but when it comes to a great pressure that would be lifted off on the students who have been buying to get a ticket abroad as far as when it comes to their studies are concerned. Srinjoy continues to be with us, but mainly let's focus on the FTA, which is the free trade agreement. Now, this is a statement coming in from the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who has hailed and called it as a major win with the landmark FTA during the Prime Minister's visit. And he said that he's set to sign it with his Indian counterpart, which is Narendra Modi, and this is coming across as a major win for jobs and for growth, as tariff cuts bring in cheaper prices when it comes to products like clothes, food and shoes and others as well. In a statement ahead of the much anticipated bilateral talks with Narendra Modi at his country residence, Keir Starmer has also announced that nearly £6 billion in new investment and export developments have been clinched as Indian firms expand their operations in the UK and British companies secure new opportunities in India. Now, the leaders will also be signing the renewed comprehensive strategic partnership, which will see global collaboration when it comes to defense, education, climate, technology and innovation. Well, Srinjoy, that's the point over there, because what is now being raised, of course, when it comes to all of these issues, there has been the Prime Minister in his departure statement already having mentioned that this is an opportunity to further enhance our economic partnership aimed at fostering prosperity, growth and job creation.
Yes, absolutely correct. The point here is that in every area there is scope for collaboration. We've already spoken about economic possibilities education, defense, even green energy. Now the British want to be the Saudi Arabia of wind energy. Now they have the technology, especially in the creation of offshore windmills. Now that would be a huge help to India. If there is a place in India where there is, and India has such a huge coastline, it would be a good thing if there were offshore wind energy plants along the shores of India. And India's huge coastline will ensure that there will be more wind energy coming in. Now, the costs of setting up a offshore wind energy plant is very high. But after that, power is virtually free. So these are things that could well happen in the future.
Absolutely. And we talk of these, when it comes to the FTA is also concerned, how it is going to be big for the UK as well. Because apart from the free trade agreement, this is going to be the biggest deal that UK has ever done after leaving the European Union.
Oh, undoubtedly, this benefits Britain to a huge extent. The economy is not in very good shape at this point. And there have been a series of decisions taken by the previous government. There were so many conservative prime ministers over that period. And some of those decisions were very counterproductive. So this government now has to put the toothpaste back into the tube. And this FTA may be one way of doing it, because this could well create jobs in Britain. This could reduce inflation to some extent. So all of this will help.
We'll be keeping
definitely
an eye out on the developments there as far as Prime Minister's visit is now concerned. Of course, this is the first leg of his visit that we are talking about to the UK. Britain being the 6th largest investor in India as well, with investments of around $36 billion US. Shunjoy, for the moment, thank you very much for joining in. Heading